Good morning. Week 17. Ghost, the season's almost over. The regular season ends today. Hopefully everybody won a championship. If you want a fantasy championship, go ahead, post your comment in here. We'll give you some screen love, and we'll get started with this slate. Ghost, any thoughts besides it's an absolute disaster? 15 games is outrageous. That's 30 quarterbacks you have to rank, and a ton of people you have to cut out of your player pool because you cannot play over what is in the pool right now, 616 players.
We're definitely not short of options today. That's for sure. Definitely not short of options. But if you don't stack Tennessee today, I can't trust you. I can't trust you. You got to stack Tennessee today.
All right, there you have it. No internet issues today for me, knock on wood right now, but let's get started. Pretty shitty game to start. The Jets, Patriots. Looks like everybody's playing for these teams. I would assume Cam's motivate. Like, I'm trying to just think of the mindset. I don't want you guys to like really, really get into this game. Like the whole what do they have to play for? Like, these guys are still competitors. It's not like, you're going to go out there and play WASP or whatever that football game is when it's quarterback, wide receiver, and cornerback with your buddies. Like, you're not just going to lose because you got nothing to play for. You still want to kick their ass. It's, these guys are competitors. They're going to play. They're playing a competitive sport, and especially when you get like hit. You ever been hit in the face? It kind of like wakes you up and like you get a little instinct in you, primal instinct. So these guys are going to play. Weird analogies there across the board, but I'm not known for good analogies. Jets, you like anybody? I know Ty Johnson's kind of popular, going to be around 10-15% owned. Seems to be the only game in town, but I do think the Jets will see what they have in Josh Adams. I think Josh Adams was kind of a hot commodity towards the end of last year, or maybe 2 years ago with the Eagles. So I don't know. I'm not all in on Ty Johnson, but it seems like one of the few guys on this early slate of games that should get 15 plus touches from the running back position. How about you?
Yeah, nobody's playing Ty Johnson on FanDuel too, which is quite interesting because he's the exact same price as Alexander Madison. Madison's 40% owned, Ty Johnson's 4% owned. So if you want to get a decent correlation between your running back and your defense and play Jets D, I mean, it would be a typical ending to 2020, even though we're now in 2021, for the Jets to win this game and really solidify the fact that they're not getting the first overall pick. So my only issue is that with Ty, how do you feel about Ty Johnson as an outside runner? We know New England struggles against outside run schemes. Like we saw what Cam Akers did to them. Yeah. They struggle a lot versus people that bounce it off outside. Are you leaning more Adams in that case, or are we going Ty Johnson?
I just don't trust Adam Gase and his whole running scheme in general. I don't want to even say that they run like outside zone or anything like that. So yeah. I don't know. I feel like Josh Adams is the quicker guy and Ty Johnson's more your scat back. So to me, it's just I don't want to invest in this game at all. But Ty Johnson's definitely worth talking about. Josh Adams for sure, no. Like I would not touch that guy. Maybe a millionaire maker play because he's going to be 0.0% owned, like our Brandon Allen last week. But I would never sign off on stacking the Patriots, stacking the Jets. I would say maybe just a one-off of Ty Johnson. And, I mean, Jacoby Myers always has good PPR value. I'd probably stay away from him on FanDuel, but DraftKings, he's all right at $5K. Crowder, any love for him? I mean, he went off last week and his price went down. So
I don't see the motivation for I feel like this game is just going to be punt after punt after punt. Like I don't know. I'd rather just play Jets D. Even if this was in the middle of the season, I would have played Jets D because I'm definitely not a fan of this Patriots offense. But I don't know. I'm questioning the amount of motivation on either side of the football here today.
All right. We got to yell at somebody here. Brian, what the hell? Darnold, Crowder, Jets D in cash? What are you talking about in cash? You know better than that. It's week 17. You could play it in GPP if you I'd say you're better off just grabbing a $10 bill and letting it on fire and enjoy that show because that's going to have more sparks. And then then that lineup will do in points. Moving on to the next game. Jets defense, though, yeah, way too cheap. But actually, real quick, do you think Cam does anything crazy today? Like, is this a tryout for him for next year? Like, what's the deal with Cam's status? Just says outside of DFS, like, what's going on with Cam? Just from football guys here talking.
I don't think they're going to judge it based on a Week 17 matchup against the worst team in the league, but
true.
But at the same time, like that, every single second that you're in that facility matters to Bill Belichick. So Like he'll cut you based on something that happens and like when you're running a route before practice even starts. Like I feel like he's that kind of guy. So to be able to say that it's an audition, like anything's possible for Bill Belichick. I think he's gonna want to play well, but I don't think it's a spot where he's gonna have to turn over the ball all that much. And we know that he has barely any weapons, and it's also not like we're so hard on Cam, and I'm ridiculously hard on this guy. But at the same time, I'm gonna cut him a bit of slack and say that he hasn't had Julian Edelman in weeks either. So they might give him another shot, especially if they bring him in on a really cheap deal, another 1 year deal, a 1 year prove it deal if they can't draft anybody or if they can't sign anybody. I mean, I don't think his job is like a foregone conclusion that he's heading to free agency next year.
Okay, yeah. And like you said earlier, I think even if he goes for 404 today, which I don't know if he's ever done in his career, I don't think he would do a whole lot for his contract situation. Minnesota, Detroit, one of the few games in this early slate. Most of these early games mean a whole lot of nothing. I do have my notes here on like who really needs to win. I mean, everybody's going to try to win a football game though, besides the Jaguars. So let's be quite frank about that. But Minnesota, man, they got a 29-point implied team total. 80 Model loves them. And then Detroit too. Matt Stafford's going to play. This dude's an absolute warrior. All from the Detroit side, I really like DeAndre Swift at under 10% ownership. I think this is the future of the Detroit running back position. I don't know if that's saying a whole lot, but this dude is insanely skilled. Model loves him. And then on the receiver side of things, it's going to be Marvin Jones and Hawkinson like it usually is. Like these guys, you know who's getting the ball for Detroit. I don't know if you like the passing game for Detroit at all, Ghost, or anybody out there, but those would be the two guys I would play for Minnesota. Justin Jefferson's going for a rookie record, and for a couple of Minnesota Vikings records. I think Thielen is as well, though. So, like, when everybody goes to Justin Jefferson and Thielen's half the ownership, kind of makes me want to play Thielen a bit more. But I do love Justin Jefferson. I think he's a smash play for cash. He's going to be very, very, very popular today, and for good reason. And then my fade of the week, 20% owned, Alexander Madison. On FanDuel, I get it, though. He's stone cold minimum, isn't he?
Yeah, it's 5,000. Minimum's 4,500, but all those guys are inactive pretty much. So minimum's 5,000. Yeah.
Yeah. So 6,100 on DraftKings. So he's more expensive on DraftKings than he is on FanDuel, who has a higher budget. So for DraftKings, me, Alexander Madison, dude has never seen 50% snap count with or without Dalvin Cook. Obviously, it would make sense without Dalvin Cook that he'd see an uptick in snaps. He certainly does. It's never gone over 50% in his career. They have Mike Boone active. They have CJ Ham, I believe, active, or potentially a game time decision there. Amir Abdullah, and like we said, there's guys in this passing game that are going for records. I don't think Alexander Madison is a smash play at all at that price.
Yeah, I think you could actually play Jefferson and Thielen together and just stack away Cousins because, like we talked about it when we were all in on Dalvin Cook. You know, it seemed like pretty much on a bi-weekly basis from here since he came back in, I think it was week 8 or week 9 against Green Bay. It was always, you know, don't play Thielen with Cook as much, or at least be careful about it because Thielen ends up catching these touchdowns inside the 10. And if you're playing Dalvin Cook, you want it to be Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook isn't there anymore. Like he's not playing in this game whatsoever. So for me, it's like that conversation now turns to, are we loading up on Thielen to gain leverage over Madison Chalk, hoping that he actually does catch those touchdowns inside the 10 now? Like that to me is a possible spot that we can turn to. Like you end up having the big play, the big play guy in Justin Jefferson looking down the field, chasing the rookie record, possibly even chasing rookie of the year. Like this is the first time in a while that a wide receiver is actually in the conversation for rookie of the year because Herbert missed. He didn't get a chance to start the season. This is a chance where he can actually legit win the award. So you have Jefferson making plays down the field. Cousins is going to want to show out just because that is so Cousins going absolute bonkers in a week 17 meaningless game. And he has the ability to do it now that Dalvin Cook is not playing in this game. So I'm okay with loading up on both. And I love the leverage that Adam Thielen provides over not necessarily Jefferson Chalk. I would play them together. It gives you such amazing leverage over Madison Chalk because if Madison gets one crack at it and he gets stuffed, Kirk is just going to want to pad his stats and he's going to go to Thielen right away inside the 10.
Definitely. I think also, guys, I think there's a big edge if you just play the early only slate and then if you just play the afternoon only slate. There's just so many good contests right now, so many good single entries that we always preach. So on a 15-game slate, like if you love the Minnesota Vikings, I would play the early only slate. They're going to be popular on that slate by all means. We know that, but you can get a little bit different by playing like a guy like Irv Smith. His touchdown equity right now in the 80 model, it's got him for a 36% chance at a touchdown. So, it sounds like a weatherman, 30% chance of rain, whatever. Like, what the hell does that mean? That's pretty high. That is second highest for any tight end on this slate. That is on the main slate. So that is considering Darren Waller, George Kittle, Mark Andrews, I think is the highest. So, and George Kittle is right above them. So he's with some pretty big names there. Again, this is more just like simulations and what I see off of film and what the Irv Smith target share is in the red zone and the green zone. So if you want to get different when everybody's playing Thielen, or not anybody's playing Thielen, when everybody's playing Jefferson, Madison, and probably Kirk Cousins, especially on that early only slate, get different, use Irv Smith. I love him today. And then, I think I really wanted to talk about that, though. You could split these slates up as if they're 2 different days, but it's going to take a ton of work. And that's what took me so long with projections, is I really wanted to give you guys angles to go for the early only slate, for the afternoon only slate, and then combined. So it's a good way to not let yourself get backdoored by all these afternoon games that may just go absolutely crazy. Like if you're, is there a way to use it ourselves? It is our projection. If I showed everybody at one, I'd lose like what makes it special, because I don't want anybody to ever see like the back end of it. But it is our projection model, and then we're working on showing like, okay, if I have a guy projected for 4.4 catches, that you guys can see all of that. So hopefully in this offseason, myself and our tech guy William will just go absolutely crazy, mad scientist, and get you so much more access to everything that goes into those projections, because I think it'll only make you guys better players, and you'll get more information. It'll help you with prop betting and stuff like that. You could say, your local bookie, John the Greek's giving you 4.5 catches on whatever the player is, AJ Brown, and you could be like, okay, well, what does 80 have him for? It's like 5.2. You're like, all right, well, I like the over. Like all that. Sorry, I'm going on a rant. Like I'm just so excited for next NFL season, because we're going to have so much more tools available to you. But yeah, again, just keep in mind those 2 different slates. They're going to play much differently, a lot more different chalk, and it just kind of saves you from, if you like one of these early only games, then when Tennessee scores 70 points today, like they're going to pass you all in the afternoon. So play the early only slate if you like that. Moving on, Miami Buffalo. What are your take here, Ghost? I've been talking for a while.
I'm worried that Buffalo lets off the gas a little bit. That's my only thing, is that this game gets quickly out of hand and that Buffalo ends up letting their foot off the gas. But at the same time, it's not to the extent that the Bills hate the Pats, but it's still a division game, and they have the chance to bounce them out of the playoffs. Like players don't pass up a chance like that. So Josh Allen is somebody that's really interesting on this slate. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get there.
Is he playing a full game? Like I haven't seen.
That's the thing. I haven't seen anything on these Bills players. Like I have no idea whether they're playing 1 snap, 0, or the entire game. Like I have no idea what's going on with this game. And that for me is that, like, I've been digging and digging and digging, and I cannot find any news. But nobody's playing these guys. No one's playing them. So that for me is that
I'm getting out. I'm getting out of that game as a whole, besides Myles Gaskin, I think.
Yeah, that's like I would like confirmation that the Bills are not playing. That'd be so much better. And then we could just load up on Gaskin.
There you go. I think this guy's going to get 20 touches. Like that's also one thing that 80 Mile does, is projects touches. I believe in whatever I posted in the research tab yesterday. I think on this early only slate, there's only 4 guys that are projected to get close to 18 touches. That is Myles Gaskin, DeAndre Swift, Nick Chubb, and Wayne Gallman was the other one. So not Alexander Madison, who's the most popular running back on the early only slate. So there you go. That's another reason to fade him, in my opinion, for GPP. You can play Madison in cash. You like anybody else on Miami? Any love for Tua? I never played Tua. I think
I'll never play Tua.
He's ruining Mike Gesicki. You just saw Gesicki go nuts last week at the end of that game, because Fitz can throw the ball in between safeties and throw it far. I don't know. I don't like Tua yet. I hope he pans out, but he's killing my favorite player in the NFL. So I obviously don't like
Yeah,
it.
I'm not playing anybody on the Miami offense other than Gaskin. Trying to find news about these Bills as we're live, but so right now they're locked in number 2. The only way that they lose the number 2 seed is that if they lose and Pittsburgh wins. Pittsburgh's playing nobody. So I think they're pretty confident that Buffalo's just gonna. Both teams are either gonna take an L here or they know that Buffalo's gonna win this game.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I got Miami plus 3.5 to start the week, so I love that. That the closing line is 1.5, so we're good there. But
Yeah,
I think Gaskin's the only play for me in this game, and the Miami defense, I don't know. But again, that's me speculating that the Bills don't play Josh Allen all day, so I don't know. It's just a weird situation. So weird situations to me, they're muddy. I don't want to invest in them.
yeah, I agree.
Baltimore, Cincinnati. You going back to the well, Lamar, Mark Andrews?
I like it when it's under 5%. This week it's not under 5%, unfortunately. But
Sure.
I am going back to the well. It's a must-win game. Win and you're in. I wrote that in our GBP article this week. Very simple script for the Ravens here. They now hold all the cards for themselves there. So win and you're in against a terrible Cincy team that unfortunately lost Joe Burrow. Can't wait to go back to that well next season. Joe Burrow to Tyler Boyd. That's going to be a fun one. But the only thing I'm concerned about here is that does Lamar actually play a full 4 quarters? Like this one could get out of hand really quickly, but he can also get 20 plus DraftKings points just on the ground. Like he can legitimately run for 100 and a touchdown today.
Yep, that's what
That's the one thing.
I look at it like that is I don't have a ton of love for Lamar Jackson, but he's got the highest ceiling, probably the highest floor, and he's like he has to win today. Like he is giving you his best effort. I just don't see Cincinnati keeping the pace, but Brandon Allen is our guy, so maybe they do. I think if you like Lamar Jackson, you play him. I'd leave it at that. I don't want to tell you he's a bad play by any means. I think he's a great play. I just get worried about them being a 14, 15-point favorite and Cincinnati just not being able to do anything because Cincinnati is not playing Houston this week. That's why we liked him last week because Houston sucks. Mark Andrews, again, under 6K. Cincinnati sucks at covering the tight end. They suck at covering wide receivers, other than William Jackson, who I think would try to shadow Hollywood Brown, but Hollywood Brown could burn him. So I like it. If you like Baltimore, they're your guys. I'd say stack them up. And then who would your run back be? Would it be Higgins? I mean, Tyler Boyd's back, but I don't know.
I don't even know if it's. I don't even know if I would go with a run back in this case. I might just go Lamar and Mark Andrews.
You just leave it
and hope that they just do enough damage in 3 quarters that it's like they do that every season. And well, every season it's been 2 years now there, but week 1 they just get up to these 35-0 leads at halftime. I feel like it could be a game like that where they have enough production to be able to get you there, no matter how few minutes that they end up playing in a game like this.
All right, I'm with
I
you.
might just go Lamar and Mark Andrews, but I don't know. You going back to the Cincy side? What are we doing with that?
No, I'm not. They're just so damn cheap, and I think I really do like T. Higgins just in general, but
yeah,
no, I don't know. I don't think Cincinnati can stop the pass rush today, and Brandon Allen may not last 4 quarters. So no for me.
Definitely not the most mobile QB either. So that might cause.
But T. Higgins is 5K. So look at a wide receiver playing catch up all day long. Then I would play T. Higgins if you like this game. But I would just go like what you said, just Lamar and Andrew solo. Let's get a couple questions here. Who do we got? All right, Jeff, Millie, Tannehill, Ty Johnson, Ty Montgomery, Justin Jefferson, AJ Brown, Brandon Cooks, Jonnu, David Johnson, Jets D. I mean, it's a good GPP line. No one's going to play David Johnson today. I personally wouldn't touch him because that price, he's damn near 7K. He's went off the last 2 weeks. I think we got the best of him. I think you don't need that much Houston. I think Houston, another reason I like David Johnson, I was going to talk about this when we get to that game. They're out their 2 best linemen. David Johnson is not going to have an easy day running the football. Whatever his rushing yards is, I would take the under blindly, no matter what it is. It could be 45. I'm taking the under. But he could be very active in the passing game. But I think if you're going to run it, just run it back with Brandon Cooks or like Jordan Akins or Kiki Kuti, just one of these pass catchers. I think Tennessee just absolutely beats the shit out of them today. I don't think Houston keeps it close at all. What do you got there? I mean, but we can get into that game. But for this lineup, I think you're
I'm just
David Johnson, right?
Yeah, like if you are running it back, I don't think I'd be surprised if Houston keeps it within 4 scores. To be honest with you, like it's going to be that bad. But if you are, you need Brandon Cooks or Kiki Kuti. Like you can't. David Johnson's not going to catch 12 balls again. So Watson's a fierce competitor. You know he's going to go out there and try and win in any football game that he plays in. But if you're going Houston run back, it's got to be Brandon Cooks or Kiki Kuti.
I'm with you. Yeah, I don't think you need to double it up. But if you like that game stack, it makes perfect sense for the Monday Night Maker because if that game goes off, this lineup's going to be really good. Your only downside is Ty Johnson and Ty Montgomery, and they're both good values. Who do we got here? I already hit that one up on the chat. All right, Jeff. We'll go one more, Jeff. Oh, we already got. Oh, this is a different one. Janu Hines, Cold Steed. I like that more, but I don't like Hines.
That makes more sense. But see if you could get Jonathan Taylor in there. Like come off Jefferson if you have to. If you absolutely have to, see if you could get Jonathan Taylor in there.
I'm also scared to death to not have Derrick Henry in my lineup.
Yeah, that's very scary.
William, GBP thoughts. Cousins, Montgomery, Rodney Smith, Adams, Devonte Adams, Justin Jefferson, Chenal, Schultz, Henry, New York Jets. I'm cool with it. The only thing I don't like is the Rodney Smith and Ty Montgomery back and forth. Again, we talked about last week. Very rarely do you see 2 running backs go off in the same game, but these guys are stone cold min price, and they are likely to be passing down back. So I think it works in this case. You like Schultz at all? That's the only thing that kind of Schultz and Chenal are kind of random, but they are values. So I get that.
Yeah, I'd rather try and get up to Irv. Especially you have Jefferson there with Cousins, double stack it with Irv.
Everybody that plays Cousins is going to stack Justin Jefferson, so you get no different there. So I think your one way to capitalize is to get Irv Smith in there too. If you could do that, I would love that. That's pretty sweet. I like that. Josh Reynolds or Van Jefferson? Reynolds all day, right? We'll get to that game too. Any questions before we talk about the game? That's one thing. Jackson, Henry, Madison. I like it all besides Madison, but if you like Madison, FanDuel, get it. That's just you.
Jackson, Henry, Madison, Adams, Jefferson, Lamb, Parham, Montgomery, Minnesota, D. Well, right away, I'm not playing anything more than basically min price for defense this week. You have Panthers down there, Jets and Chargers, who are going up against second string KC guys. So for me, it's lower your defense, even if it's just $200. $200 counts for the entire world on FanDuel. If you're playing Lamar, you got to get a stack in there at least some sort, unless you're hoping that he goes absolutely bonkers and just runs it in. I'm also the scary fade that I'm doing on FanDuel this week is Devonte Adams because. Well, again, we're talking about games before we even get to them. DK Metcalf is $7,600, almost $2,000 cheaper than Devonte Adams. So if you want to go from Adams to Metcalf, and then you could upgrade Montgomery or Madison, that's a lot of chalk. They're combining for 80% aggregate ownership on FanDuel today.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I know. I know it's cash. We can eat the chalk, but when it gets to that point where you're eating Derrick Henry, Madison, and Montgomery, if I'm pivoting off one to get different to jump over the trains, it's got to be one of those running backs. They're both 40% owned. It's a very easy spot to get different, and you'll get over the lineup trains fairly easily.
Yep, couldn't agree more. Here we go. We got that one. DK Cash. Oh, so chaos. Here we go. We just did that one. DK Cash, Cousins, Henry, Swift, Metcalf, Cooks, Richie James, Fant, Ty Montgomery, Jets D. I love it.
That's almost my exact lineup.
I'd prefer Tannehill, but I think that's perfect. You get Cousins. No, that's good. Let's do that. Love Metcalf and Cash. No one's gonna play him.
I have him in my catch build right now. He's so cheap.
Gallman and Ty Montgomery. I love Gallman. I don't like Ty Montgomery. We'll get to that. DK Cash, Tannehill, Gaskins, Ty Montgomery, Jefferson, Lockett, Judy, Kittle, Swift, Browns. You got to get Derrick Henry in cash, right?
Yeah, you need to. This guy's gonna go
Yeah,
back. Like again, we said it past couple of weeks, and like last week was the same thing. You could have played Mahomes and Lev Bell together. You could play Tannehill and Derrick Henry. This guy's props are through the roof. I think I don't even think it's plus money for him to score 2 or more touchdowns this week.
All right.
It's scary.
It probably is.
That's scary.
Jonnu Smith or Irv Smith? That's the same question I keep asking myself all day. I do half my lineups I do 60% of them with Jonnu because I like Tennessee so much. But Irv Smith, I like a ton. If you're stacking that game, I'd say early only slate that's why I want to play early only slate and then afternoon slate because I like so many different people. The slate's just too big. Split it up on yourself. Make it easy. Play Irv Smith in your early onlys, Jonnu in the afternoon, and Jonnu in your main too. Whoever you like more, play in the main. And then afternoon you go Jonnu early only. Irv Smith. Favorite stacks on FanDuel, Mr. Ghost.
Tennessee, Green Bay, Tennessee, Seattle, and Tennessee. Did I mention Tennessee? Stock Tennessee.
I love the Seattle too in there. Made a Taysom lineup. No cash. Stop doing this crazy shit in cash, Brian. Play this in the middle. Today, but yeah, play Taysom in the Millie Maker. Don't play Jimmy.
You have to have some serious stones to be able to play Taysom Hill in cash, man.
I like it. Yeah, don't play
crazy.
Lamar, Henry, Ty Montgomery, CeeDee Lamb, Adams, Callaway. Okay, I wouldn't use Ty Montgomery and Callaway together. That game could just be so low in pace, so slow. But it's FanDuel again. I always miss the FanDuel part. What do you think there? That's just me personally. Is I'm not playing Montgomery and Callaway together.
I'm not playing Lamar in cash. Tanny's expensive, but Russell Wilson is 7,500 on FanDuel. Like that to me is that you could load up on Russell Wilson instead of Lamar. That gives you $1,500 to be able to upgrade Callaway. I don't mind him for GPPs, but for cash, I'm not playing both of them together. That's for sure. And then if you don't want to play Kittle, the tight end ownership is pretty much spread out this week. I rather go down to Irv. He's 5,600. That's pretty much approaching minimum price territory.
And again, guys got the third best odds to score a touchdown today, in my opinion, at the tight end position. You good there?
Yep, we're good.
All right. Absolutely disgusting for one to play Cousins over Lamar and cash. I don't think so. No, we like Cousins a ton.
I have that he's my cash game quarterback for now. I'm trying to find a way to get Tannehill in there, but
we have not got to Jacobs yet. We're getting to those. I mean, we're a long way away from that game, but all right, let's get moving. We were crushing it early. Pittsburgh, Cleveland. I'm not playing one guy on Pittsburgh. They are apparently resting most of their players. Mason Rudolph is 4,300. I get it if you want to use him. Revenge game for getting hit in the head with a helmet or whatever it was. I just don't think he's any good. Nick Chubb, Jarvis Landry, elite plays for Cleveland. Cleveland is going to come out balls to the walls. I think you play everybody you want from Cleveland, but I'm not that interested in this game in general. But Cleveland Browns defense, I will always play defense against Mason Rudolph, especially when they're 2,500 on DraftKings.
Especially when Myles Garrett just got named the captain for this game.
Oh, nice.
You want a sprinkle of a narrative? This guy might. I don't know. I don't even know what he's gonna do.
I gotta watch.
Took off a helmet and bashed over the guy's head. Now he's a captain for the game and week 17 playoffs on the line. I don't even know what he's gonna do. I'm gonna watch it purely for entertainment purposes, just to see Myles Garrett on the field. But yeah, Nick Chubb is the only guy I'm possibly considering in this game. Steelers are setting out their entire defensive line, so you could run Nick Chubb, and they need to win this game to be able to get into the playoffs. They know that they're up first on the slate, and they can't be waiting based on how other games are dictating. So they just got to win this game. They're going to do it on the ground the way that they always do. And Baker Mayfield's you have any interest in this Browns passing attack as a very low priced option? Okay.
I mean, I was
thinking the same, but I was thinking Baker, like he's $7,000 on FanDuel. It's like 5,500 on DraftKings, which I think that's his exact price this week.
No, I get it then.
It's very cheap.
it's just a Stefanski, man. They're gonna punch it in when they're in the red zone. But I love like my one off of Jarvis Landry for sure. I get it. Yeah, Baker's probably gotta go nuts, but I don't know. For FanDuel, you could. He's super low on DraftKings. It's not someone I'm getting. If I would play him, I'd play him in the early only slate again, just to get off of maybe the Kirk Cousins and Lamar chalk on that early only slate. But for a main slate, he doesn't crack the top 10.
Yeah, like he's a guy that I was thinking if you're building multiple lineups in a Millie Maker style contest or anything like that, I hope you're playing single entry and cash over that. But we always like to throw them in for fun too. Baker's coming in 0% owned on FanDuel.
Yep.
So he's somebody that, you know, and if they don't, go ahead.
Tannehill or Cousins, real quick. For me, Tannehill all day, right?
Tannehill all day. Sorry.
Yeah,
0% on Baker. I'm gonna take a couple shots with it. They're always gonna run. I'm gonna have more exposure to Nick Chubb in my actual single entry and 3 max builds. But and if you're building a Millie Maker, not the worst idea to stack Baker and Jarvis Landry. That's for sure. Nobody's playing him. There's zero people playing him.
All right, let's go. Next game, real quick. We'll fly through that. Dallas, New York. I have 2 plays I absolutely love in this game. It is Wayne Gallman and it is CeeDee Lamb. That is it for me. I'm not playing anybody else. I'm not playing Dalton. I'm not playing Daniel Jones. I'm not playing Amari Cooper. I guess you could, but not playing a Dallas running back. They split too much time. I don't want it. And I really respect New York Giants defense. This should just be a fun game to watch, honestly. 2 shitty teams, but they potentially could win the division if Washington loses tonight. So they're going to play hard. You like anything here? That's kind of just my only 2. But if you like it, go ahead. I don't want to talk you off this game.
No, I'm not stacking this one. I like CD. I like Gallman on the other side, and I'm gonna play Zeke a little bit. I think this is a spot where Zeke can kind of make people forget the past 16 weeks or the past 11 since Dak has been injured. It's a good spot for Zeke.
Okay,
I'm playing Zeke a little bit. I hate attacking the Giants' run D. I hate attacking it, but this is a spot where you get a $6,500 Ezekiel Elliott on FanDuel. Like people are playing Madison and Ty Johnson and all these guys. You could spend a couple $100 more and get Ezekiel Elliott. Like that to me is that I get to keep the main. The reason why I ended up doing this at like 3 a.m. yesterday. And the reason why I ended up pivoting is just because it's only a couple $100 more and you could keep the same core of your lineup intact. But you're switching out a very chalky running back for a guy that is on. If Dak is under center, Ezekiel Elliott is probably $9,000 in this matchup.
Okay, I mean
under 5% on FanDuel. Under 5%.
He's going to be 0% on. I looked him.
Yeah.
I just completely looked him over. I still don't know if I'm interested, but I love that from a GPP perspective. There, man, that's a really good call. Anybody else on this game that you like? You like CD? You like Gallman? Anything like that? I just like Gallman. Van Der Esch is out again. You could run all over Dallas when Van Der Esch is out. Last week, I love Sanders for the same reason, but the game just kind of got out of control because Philly couldn't stop shit, which was pathetic on their end. But they kind of just gave up too. They're resting everybody today. But anything there?
I really like CD, and Michael Gallup has been having a really strong connection with Andy Dalton. So, but I definitely do prefer CD in this matchup over him. But Gallup's coming in 1% on FanDuel, so I'll probably end up taking a shot there.
Okay. Something just happened. The Dolphins are favored by 2.5 points now. So if anybody out there knows what's going on in Buffalo, did they announce they're stopping? Just not playing anybody? Please let us know. It makes me love Gaskin even more. That totals at 41 points. Yeah, something crazy happened. So I'm glad I got 3.5 on Miami because they're -3 now. That's wonderful. But yeah, if anybody knows, that'd be great. I'll hop in a couple questions here. But again, weird.
Carson, I just saw something funny. Carson Wentz is a healthy scratch. That's hilarious.
Poor guy. Oh my God. QBs, Lamar and Tanny. Dre, you know what you're doing this week. I liked all your lineups you shared. Hooper or Landry? Landry for me all day. FanDuel GPP. Ghost, this is you.
FanDuel GPP. Tannehill, Henry, Montgomery, Gallup, Crowder, Landry, Andrews, Gio Bernard. There's not much that I'm on there other than Tannehill and Henry and Andrews. Gallup is worth a shot. Landry actually you get down with Landry. It's just there's a lot of random one-offs there. Like there's nobody that really sticks out. Like if you're playing Montgomery and Bernard, I would want some pretty elite receivers, and that trio just doesn't do it for me.
Okay, I'm cool with that. Allen Robinson or Jefferson? That's close to me. It's Jefferson though. I think you just kind of eat the chalk today and you play him because he's in a very, very good spot. It's not like Allen Robinson's not, because Jair Alexander doesn't really shadow, so I don't think it's that big of a deal to if you like him, play him. But it's too good of a spot for Justin Jefferson against Detroit in the secondary. DK 3K 3 max. Mayfield, Henry, DeAndre Swift, Higgins. If you're playing Mayfield, I think you have to play Jarvis Landry, right?
Yes,
that's his main guy. Higgins is a deep target, but Higgins' price is going up like crazy. I love Richie James and Metcalf, that little game stack there. Johnny Smith to get exposure to Tennessee even more with Henry. I like that. Cleveland or Wilson? Oh, it's an and/or question. Give me that second one. I like that way more. I like them both, though. I just don't like Higgins that much. But Russell Wilson has such a higher ceiling than Baker Mayfield, in my opinion.
I'm looking now. The only significant inactives for the Bills, Cole Beasley, if you want to count that as significant, and Trey White.
Oh, okay. Well,
it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything about Josh Allen or Diggs or any of the boys.
That's just. I don't like what's going on there at all.
Josh Allen and offensive starters slated to be active. They're going to see some work, so they'll probably play for a half and then call it a day.
Does that scare you at all? No.
I mean, these guys are 0% owned. Like nobody's playing them. It's not even to the point where ownership calculations are not even calculating 0.1. Like they are literally 0.0. Nobody's playing them.
Okay, I'm cool with that.
But I'm not going to get there. It's just way too risky. I'm not willing to put money on somebody that's only going to play one half of football. It's the only thing.
All right, well, let's move on then. I'm with you. Atlanta, Tampa Bay. I'm taking this game off my board completely. But Atlanta's going to play to win because that's just kind of what Matt Ryan does, and Calvin Ridley is going to get a shit ton of targets again. And no one's playing Matt Ryan. He's super cheap. I get the love for Matt Ryan. I'll answer this question, David, in the chat real quick. But go. What are your thoughts on this one?
Only guy I wanted to run by you was Ronald Jones. Playing any Ronald Jones? Bruce Arians said that he wants to get him ready for the playoffs here. After missing last week.
I don't believe a word Bruce Arians ever says. So the run can go to him, but Atlanta's run defense is pretty good. So it would be Ronald Jones in the passing work, but we're still going to see some Fournette and some Keshawn Vaughn, especially after how he's been getting an uptake in snaps. I don't know. Yeah. I just don't like. I have no read for this game at all. So for me,
this is a fairly easy one to cross off the list for me.
Yeah. Let's actually get to this question real quick, even though it's all afternoon. Locke, Taylor, Gordon, Aguilar, Curtis Samuel, Judy, Waller, Eckler, and Jets defense. I like it all. I don't necessarily think you have to play Eckler, but I really like that. I would say just change your defense and play this in the afternoon only, so you don't get backdoored by any weird shit that happens early. If all your guys are in the afternoon only slate, just play the afternoon only slate because something weird will happen in the early games and it's going to hurt your GPP upside. Green Bay, Chicago. Let's go. This should be a fun game. Aaron Rodgers is probably the MVP of the NFL. I know one of my buddies, and that's usually on here right now, has a ticket for 25-1 MVP odds. So that's awesome. Rodgers is the most popular quarterback on this slate. I'm not on him at all. Really, to me, it's just because the Bears play so slow. The Packers do not play fast either. So this game doesn't really pace up. I know the total's at 50. I like the under. I just don't see it I know Rodgers is an elite play. He could throw for 220 yards and 4 touchdowns and still put up 30 DraftKings points. So that's his thing. Is like when they're in the red zone, he's throwing to Devonte Adams. So I don't know. You got any love for Rodgers? I just think it's just too popular of a guy for me to like. And
on FanDuel, he's coming in as the 7th highest owned quarterback. So there's a lot of guys above him.
That's not a bad spot, man.
That being said, I like the spot. They need the win to clinch the bye and the number 1 seed. Devonte Adams is going up against practice squad cornerbacks. Like it's a really good smash spot. Yeah, like
it's gonna be bad.
Like this is gonna be bad. They could put like 20 guys on Devonte Adams today, and he'll still find a way to score. Their defense is just in shambles today, so I don't know. It's a smash spot. I can't. It's not going to be my main stack. I can't. In case people haven't realized by now, 40 minutes into the show, my main stack is going to be Tennessee. So I can't get there, but I definitely can't blame you for running on Aaron Rodgers, Devonte Adams 1-2 punch. They're going to go nuts today.
Any love for Aaron Jones at 0% ownership? Pretty much. Why is no one playing Aaron Jones?
I think people are scared from last week.
He still went nuts. He didn't go nuts. Like he didn't get the touchdowns because they didn't need him to, because they beat the shit out of Tennessee. Yeah. I don't like David Montgomery at 15% ownership at that price. Again, I said it last week. I didn't think he was worth the price. He wouldn't go 3x value. I don't think he did. I think he only scored 20 points, which is good. No one takes carries away from him. That we did see Artavius Pierce or whoever their backup is last week. He actually was good. That dude was fast as hell.
How is this guy still pulling ownership at $7,700 on DraftKings?
I don't know. He's 15% owned on this plate.
Like I get, hey, you want to play him against the Jags, okay, but like
Green Bay's run defense is a weak spot, but if I would do Green Bay's going to do exactly what they did last week. They stacked the box, said, Henry, you're not beating us. Beat us through the air. Obviously, the weather didn't help Tannehill in the throwing game to start that game. But, I mean, if your game plan is, hey, the only way we lose or the only way this game stays really close is if, 1, A-Rod sucks. That's not going to happen. And then 2, if Mitch Trubisky goes off on us. That probably is not going to happen. So I don't see it. I would see a stack box for Montgomery. The only way he gets the value, in my opinion, this week is just death by ourselves and checkdowns, and he gets 5-6 catches because that's all they can get going because the run game may not be there if they stack the box. But if you like Montgomery, I won't talk you off him. He is just not in my player pool at that price today. Aaron Jones at 7,100, I think I like a ton for GPPs. Not a core play for me. I will not play him on the main slate. He'd be like an afternoon-only slate type of guy because his ownership is so low and his price is so high. I don't think it's worth it going to him on a main slate when I can go down to Wayne Gallman at 5,500, who I think it's, not nearly as high the upside, but the value is higher there. But Devonte Adams, is there a better wide receiver play on the slate ever?
I don't think so.
There never is.
Any given week. Like this guy is just like and when Kelsey's on the slate and he's actually playing, not this week there, and you start your lineup with Devonte Adams and Kelsey, you're like, okay, I'm locked in for 40 plus DraftKings points. What do I do now?
More than that.
Like that those are floor games. Those are like, oh, Devonte Adams had a bad game. He only went for 150 and 2 touchdowns.
Devonte Adams odds at a touchdown on the 80 mile is 58%.
like bro, and then especially if you're playing on FanDuel, it's not full point PPR. You can't get away with these guys getting there based on there's no bonuses. There's nobody going 10 for 100 and no touchdowns and getting you in a winning lineup. You need every single one of you guys to score touchdowns, and it doesn't get much better than Devonte Adams on this slate. That's for sure.
Yeah, so I'm all in Devonte Adams too. But the Bears did bracket coverage last time, and I think it was Devonte Adams' worst game of the year. I think he scored a touchdown, if I remember correctly. But the dude's going to get you 15 points, so he's not going to burn your lineup. He's just expensive. Gesicki, Drazen Gesicki. Don't do it with Tua. He's bad.
The only way that Gesicki gets there is if Tua gets pulled again and Fitzmagic comes in. Right. Then we're in for a ride.
Devontae Parker's active, so that's good with Tre'Davious White out. If that could be an 8-catch game for Parker. Maybe give a look at his receiving prop, take over. Matt Berry says the Bills may play a quarter. Cool. So that, again, that makes sense why the line is dropping. Here we go. Question for Dre. Dre always crushes it, so let's go. What do we got here? Tanny, Henry, Aaron Jones, Robinson. What Robinson is that? Allen to go back with Aaron Jones? Probably. Yeah, with all the value she has, I think for sure. So Allen Robinson, A.J. Brown to stack with Henry and Tannehill. Love that. Josh Reynolds for your value. Parham for your value. Madison's just the only gross thing. And remember, do not flex your noon players. Put someone else there in case you, you're in the top 5 in this tournament and you see that people above you have the same type of lineup and you need to pivot. Make sure you put your afternoon guys in the flex. I just don't like.
Does that fit?
Raider, yeah, it should with Parham.
You could get Tanny, Henry, Aaron Jones, AJ Brown, and a $6,000 Madison. Wow.
I would get off Madison there and upgrade. Yeah. Raiders defense is going to get torched. But yeah,
go to Browns or Jets on DK.
Yep. Matty Ice is going to play because he might not be. Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on. I think Matt Ryan's a sneaky GPP play, but again, he'd be early only for me. It is Aguilar week. I'm with you there, Brian. You every time he says Aguilar scores a touchdown, it pretty much happens. I think he's only missed one game. He didn't call one in that Dolphins game, and Aguilar went nuts. But other than that, Brian is an Aguilar truther. He can sense it. Next game, what do we have here? New Orleans, Carolina. Good God, this one got ugly over the last couple of days. Ty Montgomery is now the most popular running back on the slate, which is the funniest thing in the world. We haven't talked about Ty Montgomery in 2 years, maybe 3. Why is he the most popular running back on this slate? I don't care what the situation is. I get it. Play him in cash. I mean, I'll certainly have some GPP lineups with him, but why the hell? Like, dude, we're going to see Taysom Hill in the red zone all the time. Like, Ty Montgomery's not going to get a red zone carry. There's no chance. Maybe there is. I'm just, I take my hard stances and I live and die by him. But 30% ownership, man. I think 30% of the field in GPPs are just dead. He may get 5 catches, 12 points, cool. But Rodney Smith is going to be in the same situation on the other side for Carolina. They pest the running back a ton, and they actually hand it off to the running back in the red zone. Without Lat Murray and Alvin Kamara, they're not handing it off to Ty Montgomery in the red zone. There's just no chance that's happening. So I don't like it. I like it in cash. He's 100%. Truth to you guys, he is in my cash lineup. I will have some GPPs with him just because I need the savings, and I'm not going to play Rodney Smith in every single lineup, but I do like Rodney Smith a little bit more for GPPs at 2/3 less ownership. Let me give you one more thing here, and then I'll let you go. DJ Moore showing up as the 3rd highest anticipated target share in the 80 mile this week. So take that for what it's worth, 5,700. It's projecting like elite wide receiver 1 numbers for DJ Moore. He's going to be 0 to 5% owned in that range. So if you're playing Ty Montgomery, I would run it back with DJ Moore. I think it's a perfect run back. You don't have to run it back with anybody just because Ty's a value. But this game may have a weird pace. But I kind of like Teddy Bridgewater in the afternoon only slate too. The Saints secondary is pretty beat up. I think they lost their starting safety too. So I'll get to that. But what are your thoughts on this game?
40% owned. Ty Montgomery. Wow. I love making my GBP contests to double up at that point. This is unreal. Converted wide receiver to running back.
Converted special team guy.
Yeah, like this. He's a glorified kick returner. He is a glorified kick returner. And Taysom Hill steals red zone carries away from Alvin Kamara. If people think Montgomery is getting a single touch, let alone a single snap in the red zone, forget that idea out of your head. It's not happening. Taysom Hill steals carries from Alvin Kamara. Guy put up 6, 7, 8, 26 touchdowns in one game. Taysom Hill steals touches away from that guy. You think they're going to give Ty Montgomery the ball over Taysom Hill? This is not happening. This is fine for cash, but I will have this is 0 in GBP. And if it burns me, I'm going to sleep like a baby because I'm fine with living and dying by the fact that I did not play a glorified kick returner that's starting because Latavius and Alvin Kamara is out. Noodle season's still back there. That I'd be surprised if he even throws the ball past the line of scrimmage today. So that's like it's not happening for me. I'm out. I'm completely out. 100% all the way out. I'm not playing Ty Montgomery whatsoever. That's my take on this game. This guy's 40% owned. You take him out of your player pool. No matter what decision you make, whether it's a good one or a bad one, you have the potential to jump 40% of the field with one single pivot. You'll never
dude's
get
not
a
going
better
for 20
chance.
points.
You won't get a better chance than that. You like if you could say, man, I need to figure out by 11:59 or 12:59. Notice how I put your time zone in there. That was for you.
Thank you, buddy.
If it's 11:59 or 12:59, and you're like, okay, how do I jump 40% of the field? One pivot, go. You just don't play a glorified kick returner. Like that for me is the like you don't need to get cute with not playing Devonte Adams, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, all these other guys that are, DK Metcalf's not even pulling ownership, but all these other higher owned plays like Derrick Henry, the quarterbacks we're talking about, Devonte Adams, Justin Jefferson, Thielen, AJ Brown. Like you don't have to get cute by fading those guys because you're fading a 40% on Ty Montgomery. Like to me, it's the easiest move that I'm making on this slate is not playing Ty Montgomery. That's my take on this game. And you talked me into DJ Moore. I'm gonna get some DJ Moore now too, and I can't get there with Teddy Two Gloves, but I will get some DJ Moore.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine. I just like Teddy in the afternoon only slate, just a little bit, just tiny bit. He'll be 0% owned, but yeah, DJ Moore. I trust the numbers there. He's coming up as an elite play this week, so. Model says it, whatever. But yeah, I could not echo what you said about Ty Montgomery. Guys, I know like everybody's lineup that had a picture this morning on Discord had Ty Montgomery. Hopefully that made sense to everybody. Like, come on, we haven't talked about this guy in forever. And again, he's only good enough to be on special teams. So it's pretty gross. Let's crush a couple questions here. DK Cash. So hold on. Wrestling's always a diehard, so I gotta
wrestling, paving, and concrete for all of your paving and concrete needs.
That's right. I still need a basketball court quote. So come on out to the west suburbs of Chicago.
Did you get the golf simulator yet? Did you get the golf simulator?
It's coming at the end of the month. I'll take a picture.
Unreal. Let's go.
We'll run a league. I got to get my game right though. I got to get to scratch by the end of this summer. Swift or Taylor? To me, it's Taylor all day, but I like Swift.
Yeah, different price bracket. It's kind of unfair to both those guys end up comparing them. I'll take Taylor raw points, but Swift is an elite play for me today.
Cool. All right. Let's go. Oh, here we go. Best 4.5 value or less receiver to build around. I don't ever like to build around a value guy, but that would be. I like that question. It's probably going to be Laviska. He's got a 4.5 catch prop at that price. That's pretty damn good. And then Jerry Jeudy. Ooh, Laviska or Jerry Jeudy. I think with how much I like to pick on Oakland or Las Vegas secondary, we got to go Jerry Jeudy. KJ Hamler's out too, so like this is even Jerry Jeudy at 4,200. And second answer would be Laviska. I think Jerry Jeudy just offers so much more upside. Laviska makes me want to throw up a little bit, but Jerry Jeudy, right?
All the way down, Richie James. If you're not going Jerry Jeudy, Jerry Jeudy was going to be the guy that I mentioned. But if you want to go even cheaper than 4.5, you go all the way down to Richie James.
Oh, that's a great question. I love those questions because like these guys are, guys and girls are building their own lineup and they're just like, give me a value. I like that. Also a good question. Same guy. Thug guy. Man. Best running back who will be a staple in yours, not named Henry. It's disgusting for me, but it's gonna be Malcolm Brown. I need that value, and it's a pivot off of douchebag Ty Montgomery. Sorry, Ty. You're probably a good guy. I didn't mean to call you a douchebag, but douche play today, Ty Montgomery. Cash game lineup. Let's go. Tannehill, Taylor, Ty Montgomery, and Henry. Perfect trio of running backs. Jefferson, upside wide receiver, Jeudy, Chenal, Smith, Jets. Jeudy and Chenal together? That's a value, and then it's all upside.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton.
No, dude, I'm in with that. So
I like it. I'm in with it.
Ron's lineup.
Your running back trio is perfect.
That's
Your running back trio is unreal.
So usually I'd say the two punt value wide receivers and Jeudy and Chenal. I'd be like, all right, pick one and upgrade. But when you're getting the two best plays on this slate in Jonathan Taylor and Derrick Henry, I love that lineup, dude. I'm
wheels up.
Look in the standings. I'll be right next to you because I may just copy that. You just made a hell of a lineup. If that doesn't cash, let me know, and I'm sending you some stuff because that's a strong build. I love where your mind's at there. Zeke. Ghost already talked about it. He likes Zeke a lot today. And very, very Carolina's D sucks. They looked great last week. I know it was Washington.
Breeze doesn't throw past the line of scrimmage.
That total's only 46, and Saints offense kind of sucks without everybody, so I like that. Who's a run back for Houston? To me, it's two guys. It's only two, maybe 2.5. Half of it is Kuti. I don't love him because he just doesn't have that much upside. He's a red zone target, not really a deep ball guy. And I think the only time he scored the deep ball was at Detroit, was his first start or whatever. Other than that, it's Atkins. The Atkins diet I'm on today, just because he's so cheap. And then Brandon Cooks, I think, is the only guy worth playing for that because he'll get some Malcolm Butler, and Malcolm Butler cannot keep up with him. But Adoree Jackson can, because Adoree only struggles with bigger body, fast wide receivers. So Adoree is not a good matchup for Cooks, but when he sees Malcolm Butler, that's going to be a problem. Can we do a top 5 80 mile for running back and wide receiver? Yeah, if you just go to the projections on the website, they're right there. Just sort by running back and wide receiver. Single entry thoughts here for Dallas Poker. Tannehill, Swift, Ty Johnson, AJ Brown, Cooks, DJ Moore, Landry, Jonnu Smith. Who's Smith? Oh, Jonnu Smith at tight end.
Yeah,
who's the flex there?
He put 4 wide receivers, so I guess he put Landry flex and.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. How about you? I don't love Ty. Ty Johnson's a great pivot off of Ty Montgomery, so I do like it in this lineup.
Yeah, I just feel like there's. I don't know, man. You got like not having Derek.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Not playing Derrick Henry, man. Like, I don't care if he's 30, 40, 50, 90% owned. Like, I'm every lineup I'm playing starts with Derrick Henry. So that's the only thing for me. Other thing is that you have a lot of mid-range wide receivers, but outside of AJ Brown and DJ Moore, like Cooks might not. It's expensive to play for Brandon Cooks today. It's really expensive. This is DraftKings.
Yeah, it would. I would assume so.
Like, Brandon Cooks is only a couple $100 less than DK Metcalf. That for me is a serious problem. That's the only thing.
Okay.
How do you feel about Brandon Cooks? Like paying $7K for Brandon Cooks?
Yeah, that's the one thing I don't like. I only like it in a full-on game select. That's why I went to Atkins, because I'm having Henry in my lineup. So Atkins is my cheap Houston guy to run back. So anybody like McDonald for Pitt? I just don't like that game at all. It's just too gross, right? I mean, you could do it if you get a good feeling. I just don't watch the Steelers second string play enough to understand like what Vance McDonald is anymore. He was a very good option though last year, but not for me. Next game, Jacksonville, Indianapolis. I say Indiana every fucking week. Play LaVishka if you need a run back, but Jonathan Taylor all day for me. That is it. You like anything else? You like TY? I'm not playing Phil Rivers. I'm not playing Glennon. I'm not playing anybody from Jacksonville other than LaVishka.
One guy I could take a shot on FanDuel just because of how cheap he is would be Zach Pascal. If you're chasing the touchdowns, like it seems like Rivers likes to separates them into like 4-week groups. Like we had the T.Y. Hilton beginning there, then before that it was Michael Pittman. Now it's Zach Pascal. So if you want to keep riding the Zach Pascal train, nobody's playing him whatsoever. So that it's more so an ownership play than anything else. But just load up on Jonathan Taylor. They have I think it was a 30.5 implied team total. I don't have my article in front of me, but I'm pretty sure it was like 30.5, second or third highest on the entire slate. So they got to score somehow. It's Jonathan Taylor. It's going to be Jonathan Taylor all on the ground.
All right, moving on. Tennessee, Houston, the week of Mr. Derrick Henry back there on the wall. Thank you for everything you've done for me this year, Derrick. I'm going right back. I absolutely love this offense. Just so much. I mean, dude, we like Cincinnati Bengals last week strictly because they were playing the Houston Texans. Now we're getting a mad Tennessee team that has to win. Just got embarrassed on national television last week. And Houston has 2 linemen out, so I don't get how this spread is 7 points now. I liked it at 7.5. Now it's 7, so I guess my whole day rides on Tennessee covering and going off on offense, so that's comforting. Deshaun Watson, though, I think I said it on XM last night. If anybody listened, I do not like him at all today as a DFS play at 7,700. Tannehill's a better play to me, and he's cheaper. For Watson, with the 2 linemen out, Tunsil's one of them, and I think their other guard is out. I like his rushing over. I think his rushing yards is like 22 or 23. Take that over because he's going to be running for his life today. And that's no time in the pocket. So that means dump offs to my guy, Jordan Atkins, and then I guess David Johnson. But there's going to be no holes to run through for David Johnson. It's a Tennessee onslaught today.
Let's go.
Speechless. All right.
35-10. Tennessee, they absolutely go bonkers. Did you see who AJ Brown's lining up against today?
I
know you saw it. I know you saw it. We specifically look for this guy every week. AJ Brown, Vernon Hargreaves. Grab your popcorn. I don't care if it's morning where you are, or if you're watching the games, no matter what time zone you're in. Grab the popcorn and watch AJ Brown go absolutely nuclear today against Vernon Hargreaves. It's going to be fun.
It is going to be fun. I love that. It's the best stack in the NFL today. So let's do that. I do love Jonnu Smith. I think he's a very good value play if you can't afford AJ Brown. Because I don't know if everybody's going to play Tannehill anymore. His ownership's less than Deshaun Watson, which makes no sense to me. So I really like Jonnu. I think that's a way to get different. He's going to be 5 to 10% range. Jordan Atkins is going to be like 0, so that's why I like the run back there. You got any love for double tight end here? If you went Jonnu Smith and Atkins, and then Derrick Henry and Tannehill, and then just loaded up studs everywhere else. You can get Jonathan Taylor in that lineup. You can get DK Metcalf. You could do a ton of shit there.
I did almost the exact same thing. I just instead of Atkins, I went Jonnu and Irv Smith.
Okay. Oh, that's yeah.
The way that I was building, I did exactly like what you said. It's scary that you brought it up. Jonnu Smith with Atkins, and then I was like, okay, and then I couldn't get to Jefferson on FanDuel because he's just bit too expensive, and I wanted DK Metcalf in there. I was like, okay, I need my Minnesota exposure, so that's where I ended up coming off Atkins. And I don't even think we necessarily need a run back in this game per se, but that I was like, you know what, no run back in my stack. I'm just gonna go Irv with Jonnu, and then that's my one lineup without AJ Brown. But him and Henry go absolutely bonkers today. It's gonna be fun.
I love it, dude. I am 100% with you. Derrick Henry's minus 390 to score. And his rushing prop is 125 yards. His ownership, Jerry, is roughly 20 to 30% on DraftKings. That's a good number I would give you. And then it went down overnight. I don't know how he's not 50% owned.
Just got over 30 on FanDuel. It's coming down.
Okay. So it's not that bad. It's really not that bad. I don't think
more people are playing Ty Montgomery. More people are playing Ty Montgomery. Imagine starting a lineup today. You open DraftKings or finally you're like, you know what? I'm going to lock in Ty Montgomery. And you click Ty Montgomery before Derrick Henry. Close the app.
Yeah, just go play the NBA today.
What a joke. What a joke. Oh, my God.
Montgomery's percentage will be higher than his. Exactly. That's a good way. That's a good player prop. Thomas, open up a quick book real quick and say you're offering a prop of his ownership percentage being higher than his overall all-purpose yard. I like that. I like that. That's really good. Preference today, Jefferson or DK?
And we both clicked it at the same time. I like that question.
DK for me. He was the meme guy this week, so I got to ride it. But I love them both. You could get them both. You can get them both in that lineup we just talked about with the double tight end, and then just use Richie James as your run back with DK for value. And
I thought I'd have to fight you over that one. I thought you were going to say Jefferson. I'm all in DK Metcalf. I'm with you on it. Let's go. Okay. DK. All the DK.
I love it. Let's see here. What do we got next? FanDuel Cash. This one's you. I gotta open this.
Tannehill, Henry, Taylor, Strong, Kuti, CD, Metcalf, Jonnu, Ty Johnson. I don't think there's a single thing that I would change in that build. The only thing is that, stacking in cash is definitely a little scary, but the Tennessee stack is safe today. So it's wheels up for me. I like it.
All right. One more after cash from Ron.
Wilson, Henry, Wilson, Madison. In case you're running back, Wilson, Madison, Williams, Metcalf, Lamb, Waller. Yeah, Waller's coming in as the chalkiest tight end, so that's more so an ownership play. But I rather upgrade one-year wide receivers. I don't know if that's Williams, as in Mike Williams. I don't know if I could get there, but I would go from Waller down to Irv Smith since you don't have Jefferson in there. Even playing Irv and Madison, that's fine because of Madison's ownership can be through the roof. And then upgrade Williams if you can.
All right. Moving on to the Chargers in Kansas City. Is it Mike Williams' game? Finally, one time in my life. I've been playing them every single week. I'm not going to have a lot of them today because I did sign a contract on last week's live stream that I would quit him and enter Mike Williams rehabilitation.
I told you we'll delay it a week because I knew this was coming. I had a feeling this was coming.
It's a new year, though. New year, new Mike Williams. I like the spot. I think he's going to get a ton of red zone targets, but I can't get behind it a ton. I will have some, guys. Like if he catches a touchdown, if you guys are on him, I will be so pumped. I don't care if it costs me money. This guy's got to go off someday, and today's the day. Maybe. You like anything else in this game? I'm out on Eckler. I just don't see why they'd run him into the ground for no reason, but it's a good spot. Kansas City's going to sit a lot of guys, and their run defense is bad, but you see so much other guys get red zone carries and green zone carries. Austin Eckler's really not the guy for that, so I don't like it a ton.
You playing Chargers D, even though it's a bad defensive unit without Bosa and Derwin James all year.
Yeah, I think I could. I would rather just go to the Browns or the Jets, but what are they, 2,800 on track?
Yeah, sorry, I should have clarified that for everybody listening to. Chargers on FanDuel are 3,500, same price as the Jets, and Browns are more expensive. So on DraftKings, it's lock in Jets or Browns. I agree 100%. More so on FanDuel, Chargers are 3,500, Jets are 3,500, Panthers are 3,300.
Yeah, that's about it for me on this game. You like anything else?
Probably fade. Is Lev Bell playing or no?
I have no idea. Would you want to play Lev Bell if he was?
I wouldn't, but I was gonna say for a milli maker, you have these $4,000, $4,500 running backs. Do you get absolutely crazy in a milli maker only and play a guy like Darwin Thompson that he just catches balls from Chad Henne and hope that he outscores Ty Montgomery?
Yeah,
you get absolutely crazy. You get absolutely crazy and do that in a milli maker. That's something that I'm gonna keep up on for somebody that for a week 17 milli maker. If you want to throw it out there, play a Chiefs running back. I don't think Henny's gonna sling it downfield. Greasy spot, but if you have your exact build and you have Ty Montgomery, quick pivot.
Love it. I am with that. Yeah, that's about it for me there. Vegas, Raiders, and Denver. I love Drew Lock. I love Judy. I love Noah Fant. That is a very valuable stack. And then if not, I really like Melvin Gordon again. He was very effective last week. I know I was all in on him, probably cost everybody money, including myself, but he was very effective when he got the ball last week. The one weird thing, why did Melvin Gordon not get a single target? You have any idea on that, Ghost? It didn't make sense why they didn't use him in the passing game for the first time all year, but Vegas Raiders run defense and pass defense. Run defense arguably the worst in the NFL. So I love Gordon. I don't want to make the Denver Broncos a priority in my lineups, but for the afternoon only, again, this is why I love these splitting the slates, because I like Denver so much today. I want to get a ton of them. So do that in the afternoon only, because you can get a ton of Melvin Gordon, who may be a top 3 wide running back this week. All we missed last week is a touchdown and a couple catches from smashing. He did really well when he got the ball. So it's an elite play for me. Again, you could play him on the main slate too, don't get me wrong. And Jerry Judy's an elite play for me, and Noah Fant is more of just like in a stack. But then you run it back with Brian McClure's guy, Mr. Nelson Aguilar, and then, Josh Jacobs, you could play him. He's pretty damn cheap, or Darren Waller, the most expensive tight end on the slate. I don't really get to Waller often because it's just a weird game for me to want to invest in, but what are your thoughts there?
I really like Jerry Judy. Are you scared of Tim Patrick a little bit, though? Just a little bit?
Not at all. No.
Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't alone on my own island there.
His role's gone next year when Cortland Sutton comes back. They don't need
That's it. Exactly. Yeah. So I was thinking that this is a game that they're going to want to shape their offense for what it's going to look like next year. It's going to be Melvin Gordon pounding it on the ground, Jerry Judy burning people with his route running. He's already a top 5 route runner in the league. We both said that. His route running is going to be on display in a matchup like this. I could get behind this stack. It's a very sneaky stack. Like both these teams are not going to play defense whatsoever. So if they're going out and they're just trying to, kind of audition what their offense is going to look like for next season, Drew Lock is so cheap on DraftKings. My goodness, $5,000 on DraftKings. You can really stack this game and get a bunch of other studs around your lineup. And it's a good pivot to, instead of playing $4,000 running backs, you play a almost $4,000 Jerry Jeudy. That's quite the pivot.
Yeah.
Like think about it. If you're let's say people are playing these $4,000 running backs to play. I don't know. We won't say Devonte Adams, but let's say I don't know, one of these 75. Yeah, like instead of playing a $4,000 running back to play, Adams, Metcalf, Jefferson, all these guys that we've been talking about, play a $4,000 wide receiver, and then you play Henry and Jonathan Taylor together. That's a scary combo.
Yeah, I love it, man. Let's move on to the next game, then we'll do a couple questions. Arizona Rams. Malcolm Brown. I know Cam Akers is supposed to suit up as like an emergency only, unless anybody heard anything other than that. Arizona, I'm just not playing anybody. Christian Kirk's out, so that does do a Drew Lock wins you the million. Sia got me on him last night, 100%. That was Sia, and he's number one. He's number one in average at the target for the 80 mile as well. And I think in real life, if you look at ADOT, he's number one. They're gonna chuck it. So Jeudy is in a smash spot. So is Drew Lock. Drew Lock could throw 3 picks, so I don't know. I'm not saying he's a smash spot, but Jeudy is. Arizona, LA. You like anybody in this game besides Robert Woods and Malcolm Brown? DeAndre Hopkins is a forgotten son. 4% ownership. No Christian Kirk. I don't like it because I feel like it's easy to scheme if it's just him out there, but maybe Keyshawn Johnson or Larry Fitzgerald, something gross like that. Andy Isabella. I don't know. Something gross pops off, but the total of this game is at 41 points. So Vegas hates this game, so I am pretty much going to hate this game. But I like Malcolm Brown. I did say he's an elite running back play for me because of the value. And then Robert Woods. He's the only game in town. I know we don't know what to expect with Wolford, but it is McVay's offense. It's going to be plug and play. You're going to get your jet sweeps with Robert Woods. You're going to get your crossing routes that he's, I think his player prop at 4.5 catches is criminally low too. But what are your thoughts here? This game just kind of got ugly for me as the week went on.
I think Kyler's going to be under 1% owned, and that's scary for me. You want to talk about a quarterback running for his life in Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray. Aaron Donald has more than 20 rushes at on the quarterback from the inside. Like Aaron Donald is not only the best offensive player in the league, he's probably the best player in the entire league. Kyler's going to have to run for his life. They have no short-term option there with Larry Fitz and Kirk. I don't know. I think Kyler runs for his life today. And I think he gets it down on the ground. They need this win to get into the playoffs. Nuke's 30% target share is something that's definitely interesting. And I think he wins that matchup on the outside. I think he'll do just fine. I think this is a nice 1-2 punch. My only concern is something that you just brought up too, is that do the Rams move the ball quick enough to be able to keep this game from a fantasy perspective, something that we want to attack? I don't think so. It's the one thing that's keeping me off it completely, but I think a Kyler to Nuke stack is something that's really intriguing at 5% aggregate ownership. Like Kyler's coming in 1%, Nuke is coming in under 4%. That's scary, man. Like Nuke has a 30% target share, and now Kirk and Fitz are both not playing. Like, I don't know. I'm thinking about it as I'm talking about it and saying, like, do I want to rethink this and end up loading up one of my lineups with Kyler and Nuke?
Now you're getting me interested too, and I'm supposed to be
like it's 5%. It's 5%. I'm sorry, I always do this to you every week. I do this to you every week, but 1% own Kyler Murray. Like, he's gonna have to run for his life. He's gonna have to run. Aaron Donald is gonna destroy them on the inside. He's gonna have to run for his life, and he can't throw to anybody quick. Who's he throwing to? Andy Isabella. It's scary. Kyler could run. Like we're talking about Lamar's rushing upside. Kyler could do that for a full game because they have to win this game. Lamar's going to win the game in the first half.
All right, let's get a couple questions and we'll get this last game. We'll get
That's
out
something
of
to
here.
think about. Something to
Yeah,
think
it
about.
is, dude. You're on it. Though. It's really good. I like it. Hey,
Where
I would
were we with
love
the questions?
a design a shirt for your hand. I would love that, dude. That'd be sick. Thank you. I would love that. Would love a shirt. Tannehill, Henry, Madison. This is FanDuel. This is you. That's where I clock out.
Henry Madison, Devonte Adams, AJ Brown, very similar to mine. I like it. Very similar. The only difference is our punt wide receiver. We got two guys that are different. And defense, I'm really planting my flag and going all the way down. Go all the way down as low as possible. Jam in more studs.
Cool.
Very strong build.
All right. Another FanDuel for you.
Cousins, Henry, Zeke, Metcalf, Woods, Cole, Parham, Taylor, Panthers. I don't like. I get the spot for Keelan Cole. I just don't love it. What do you think about Keelan Cole?
I'd only play him. Yeah, I'd play him with Taylor. So in this one, I'm cool with it.
Yeah. Okay. So that works then. Parham. Yeah. No chalky running backs. I like it. It's strong. Robert Woods is somebody that he could get the job done. Stix just talked about that. I like Robert Woods today. You're making me rethink some Robert Woods exposure.
Yeah, I think for DK, for FanDuel, I don't think you need it as much because it's probably going to be like a 8-catch game for 70 yards. We just hope he gets in the box. A-Rod, AJ Brown, Devonte Adams, DK, Aguilar, Graham, Richie. Every lineup you send, Brian, has Jimmy Graham. I don't love it, but I like it in this game because it's running back with A-Rod. I think that's a pretty good build, buddy. I could drop lower on Woods and move up on Metcalf to Brown. Can you do both?
Play Metcalf and Brown. Play Metcalf and Brown.
Can you run the line you just showed and then run it again with this? I would do like join a 3-entry max and do that. Thoughts on Watson versus the Titans? I don't like it at all.
8,700 on FanDuel. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Zeke or Gordon? For me, that's easy Gordon, but you, it sounds like you're on Zeke.
I'm going to take my boy. I'm sorry. I'm going Zeke.
Don't apologize. Give the people more Tim Patrick or Judy.
Oh, Jerry Judy.
We don't talk about Tim Patrick Thomas.
We don't.
I went to high school. He's one of my boys.
Oh, man.
He just asked me about Tim Patrick. Yeah, I'm deleting their number from my phone for a couple months. Wrestling again. Let's get this last one in real quick, Tanny.
I'm off Gage and I'm off Gage there. And tight end, Irv Smith is way too cheap on FanDuel. Like I have close to, I think he's in every one of my main lineups. Irv Smith.
Lock or Baker?
Drew Lock.
Lock. Yep. All right. Let's go to Seattle.
Yeah. If you asked me that an hour ago, I would have said Baker, but Stix is the man.
See ya. Give it to see ya. But yeah, no, it's the Raiders defense. Come on, we do it every week.
Yeah, every week. And Jerry Judy's route running is going to be on display here. He's gonna have another button curl type of highlight reel in this
right.
Game.
Sneaky stack of the day: Seattle Seahawks 27-point implied team total. In my opinion, I think I'm seeing 26.5. It should be higher. Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett is 5,800 on DraftKings, folks. That's cheap as we've ever seen him this year. DK Metcalf down to 7,300. Double stack the shit out of this. Kwan Williams is out for San Francisco. Richard Sherman is out for San Francisco. Kinlaw is out for San Francisco. Their defense is in shambles. Russ and company are going to play big to get a good lead and then kind of, maybe go to halftime, check the Packers score, see how harder they have to play. But I do like Shanahan to keep this close. So you could play Kittle, you could play Richie James for the cheap value. I don't think Richie James is going to do much, maybe 10 points for us at most, but in most builds, that's all we need. And stack Seattle's passing game. No one is playing Russell Wilson. Again, this is why I like the afternoon slate as well, because you don't need to get this cute on the main slate. But if you do, Russell Wilson is a top 3 quarterback for me today. I love Tannehill. I love Kirk Cousins. I love Russell Wilson. Those are my 3. And then San Fran, you could play Jeff Wilson too. The price is just a little bit higher than I like it, but it's a Kyle Shanahan outside zone run scheme. Dude's going to go nuts like he always does. Anything else? You want to get to some questions, get out of here? But yeah, DK Metcalf is my elite wide receiver 1.
Yeah, and I love Russ. FanDuel 7,500 is a joke. I feel like that's a typo. He's supposed to be 8,500, and they mess it up before they publish the slate. So take advantage of that. Who do you have lining up on DK?
He'll be all over. He'll be all over. So it's whoever's subbing in for Quan Williams. I don't know if Mosley could play. I guess Mosley's back in the starting lineup then.
That's why I was gonna ask you if Emmanuel Mosley's there. He went for 12, 161, and 2 when he faced Mosley for a full game.
Brett's the only really good one, and he's 3 ACL surgeries in, and he only plays the side. DK usually plays the left side, so
yeah,
he's gonna have a
so
field day on.
If Mosley or Witherspoon,
I guess.
Yeah, like if it's Mosley or Witherspoon, week 8, 99.8% of the snaps against Mosley. So he was literally on him every single play. 12 catches, 161 yards, 2 touchdowns.
We were all on DK Metcalf that week too. I remember that.
Giddy up.
Let's go. Couple questions here, and we'll get out of town because it is getting late. But that's what happens with a big slate. David, haven't heard from you all day. So let's go. Actually, let's do Nick real quick, then we'll go to David. Millie, thoughts? Ryan, Gordon, Henry, Metcalf, Ridley, Chenault, McDonald. I like it all besides McDonald, but if it makes the rest of that work, no one's going to play Matt Ryan. I would say I don't know. I wouldn't even try to force a buck. I don't know who's going to play for them. So they're going to try to win. Maybe get a buck in there. All fucking in with Mike Williams. Oh, God. You guys are gross. I'm in, though. If you guys are in, let's relapse together.
David, oh, my God. It couldn't even last 6 days, man.
It didn't. No. Well, every good quitting story has a quick relapse.
Oh, so my God.
Out of the way, and then we'll get clean. Tannehill, Malcolm Brown, Jonathan Taylor, T. Higgins, Jerry Jeudy, Mike Williams, Jonnu Smith, Henry. I like it. Is this cash, though? Like, T. Higgins just seems random to me. I wouldn't want just a random bagel unless I was stacking the Ravens. So let's maybe move that around. But other than that, move T. Higgins to Chenault on the other side. Jonathan Taylor, go back and forth there. Oh, you got Colts D. Maybe not. Other than that, yeah, that's a pretty good line. I just don't like the random. Oh, we got an or here. Let's see that. Tanny, Melvin Gordon, Taylor, and still Higgins. I like them both. I just don't like their random. I mean, T. Higgins is a wide receiver 1 at 5K. You don't have to get crazy there. I like it. I definitely like it. Thugga, Gaskin, Richie James, Adams, or Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Rodney Smith. Give me the Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Rodney Smith. What about you?
Retweet. Yep. A.J. Brown, Vern Hargreaves.
Rod Smith or Ty Montgomery. I do one of each, but I think Rodney Smith's our guy, right? For tournaments. Yeah. I just don't we don't see.
The only way Ty Montgomery gets there today is if he gets a kick return touchdown.
Cool. Yeah, I'm with you. All right, Schneider. Cousins and McQB. Should I play Jefferson or is DK to play? Can you go to Tannehill and then play Jefferson? I don't think you need to stack Cousins and Jefferson together. You can, but I think Tannehill's just our elite guy. But yeah, we love Cousins too. What would you do, Jefferson or DK, if you had to choose for cash?
For cash, the ownership on Jefferson is so I have DK in cash, but I also have Jefferson. So like the ownership there, I would lean Jefferson, but I love DK in cash. It's that we always talk about getting different 1-2 spots. An 8% on DK Metcalf is how I'm getting different.
Okay. Josh Reynolds, punt receiver. I think, I mean, he's all right. He's going to get a big target load, but we have just no idea what to expect with Walford. So I'd rather go to the guy that the offense is schemed for, and that would be the running game of Malcolm Brown and then Robert Woods. Tannehill, Henry, Taylor, A.J. Brown, Jeudy, Rashard. I like it all besides Higgins. Like the passing game and then Cleveland D, like Higgins would have to have a ceiling game. He's going to score, like 102 touchdowns. So that would mean Pittsburgh's probably scoring to keep them passing. So
is that DraftKings or FanDuel?
It's got to be DraftKings, right?
Is Aguilar the same-ish price as Rashard Higgins?
Ooh.
Just get Aguilar in there with Jeudy.
Yes, try to do that. Drop to Jets D if you have to. Perfect. Good call. DK Cash. Pick one. Shit. Pick one. I like that, though, that it's not double of them. I'm going to go Malcolm Brown. Then it would be Ty Montgomery for me. But what would you say? You like to go with the ownership, right? Because it's not going to Ty Montgomery.
I'm not. This is the ones that this is there's a couple spots where I don't eat the ownership even in cash. I'm not playing a chalk Ty Montgomery. It's not happening. Cash, GBP, satellite. I don't care what contest it is. I'm not playing Ty Montgomery.
Okay, perfect.
I hate this play.
Man, any interest in Edmonds? Oh, if Edmonds is out, yeah. I mean, they got to play hard too. Yeah, if Edmonds is out,
A couple dump offs too. No Christian Kirk there.
Cash for our guy that talked about Tim Patrick, Rodgers, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, Chanel, Judy Lamb, Ingram, Wilson. I don't think Wilson's a cash play at all, is he?
Jeff you Wilson could drop Wilson to one of those cheaper running backs.
Yeah,
go Malcolm Brown.
Go get Malcolm Brown or Ty Montgomery.
Irv Smith tight end.
And then you could upgrade one of Chanel or Lamb. I like Lamb a ton, so I would upgrade Chanel.
And then Rodgers down to Penny.
Yep. Rodgers. If you like Rodgers, I'm not going to talk you off Rodgers. If that's your guy today, go with it.
That team.
Let's see here. Herbert is going for the rookie passing record. Yeah, I mean 340 away. Mike Williams. There you go. I guess that's a good reason to do it. 340s for the record. Okay. Last question then. Let's go. GPP Wilson, Chubb. We haven't seen many Chubb lineups. Wayne Gallman, love that. Metcalf to pair with Wilson, love that. Richie on the other side of Wilson. It's just value. We don't need much from Richie. Love that. Chanel is some value there. I'm cool with that. Atkins to get on the other side of Henry, and then Brown's D. You like that? I would rather go. I think the upside, if this is GPP, Chanel doesn't have as much upside as Jerry Jeudy. Let's get Jerry Jeudy in that Chanel spot. Your call. I mean, whoever you like more. I just don't want to trust Glennon. Glennon doesn't air the ball out. Drew Lock has the highest average depth of target, so it just seems like Judy's ceiling is up here.
For going, What if we swap Gallman? Like we put Henry at the running back spot. We put Aguilar, an Aguilar Judy 1-2 punch over Chenault Gallman.
Gallman's going to
be like Gallman.
I like Gallman. He's a low-owned guy that's going to get 18 touches. No one's talking about Gallman. I don't ever want to talk about Gallman, but with Van Der Esch out and Dallas's run D is really bad to begin with. I like this. Stick with that. Just switch Chenault to Judy for me.
There you go.
Yeah, and thank everybody for the support this year. This is awesome. We'll probably do some live streams for the playoffs. I think we're going to kind of expand our portfolio. I think last year, week 17 was our end. And then we just wrote articles, but we'll do some live streams. All right, top quarterback, top value quarterback. Let's fly and get out of here.
You want to start?
Yeah, buddy.
Go for it.
Tannehill. And I don't have a value. Actually, yeah, my value would be Drew Lock. But Tannehill and Russ Wilson are my two guys today.
Same. Tannehill top play. Russell Wilson 7,500 on FanDuel is a joke.
Who's your value? Oh, I guess Russell is a value on FanDuel.
Russell 7,500 on FanDuel, but if you're going all the way down, Baker at 7,000 is probably the cheapest, and Drew Lock is actually 6,800 or 6,900. One of those two, I'm cool with.
Yeah. Running back, top play, top value. I know it's not Ty Montgomery.
Derrick Henry.
I'm going to go Derrick Henry and Melvin Gordon. Who's your value on FanDuel, though?
Let me check my main lineup here.
I also like Malcolm Brown a ton. I just don't know what to. It's tough.
Yeah, I like Zeke is underpriced. I like Zeke.
Yeah. All right.
Zeke on FanDuel. I'm riding.
All right, wide receiver. You lead us off. Top dog and top value.
Devonte Adams, DK Metcalf, AJ Brown. I'm stealing all of them. Devonte Adams, AJ Brown, DK Metcalf, top three, and value Richie James. I specifically texted you about this yesterday. Richie James.
Yeah, you're sick.
He's stone cold minimum on FanDuel.
Yeah, I got a shit ton.
Stone cold minimum.
My top guy this week is DK Metcalf. Just below that is Devonte Adams and AJ Brown. It's just good price. Devonte Adams is so expensive on DraftKings. You should probably play him though. But Metcalf is my guy today. I'm taking a stand on a 5% on DK Metcalf. Value. I wish I could say Mike Williams like I always do, but today it's going to be Jerry Jeudy for sure. Tight end, top guy, and your value. I think your value is Irv Smith. I'll just say that. Who's your top guy?
Top guy was Irv Smith, and value I was going to go Noah Fant. They were interchangeable.
Your top guy is Irv Smith today?
Yeah.
Let's go. All right.
He's in my main line. He's in my main lineup.
Okay. My top guy is Mark Andrews. My top value is Jonnu Smith. And then honorable mention, Atkins for GPP runbacks with Tennessee, Noah Fant, and Irv Smith. Defense, we already talked about it. We like the Colts and the Browns, or the Browns and the Jets. I mean,
anybody that's playing a backup, any defense that's playing a backup quarterback, fire it up.
All right. Thank you all so much for the support. We cannot thank you enough. Such a fun year. I'm excited for a big playoff slate because we'll do a live stream for the playoffs. Absolutely. Check the Discord or Twitter and we'll let you know because I think the playoffs are kind of split into different days. So maybe we just do it to start or maybe each day. I don't know. I got nothing to do besides talk football with you guys. I love it. Thank you so much and good luck today. Keep us posted in Discord, Twitter. Let us know how you're doing. Play some early only slates, play some afternoon only slates. It really changes the game and it makes your decision making a lot less stressful. Ghost, crush it this year, my dude. You didn't miss a week, did you? You're 17.
I did not.
You're healthy.
I did not. Yeah. I appreciate you. I appreciate you having me ride shotgun with you, bro. This year, this was it was a really fun. Thanks for making every one of my Sundays that much better. We're gonna crush this week. Last season, the most money that we made. Week 16, Joe Mixon. Yep. Week 17, Tannehill to AJ Brown. It's going down. Tannehill, right. AJ Brown.
Henry, let's ride. One more Derrick Henry week. You're right there on the wall for me. What is it? Real quick. Sticks from your show with Mike a few days ago. Dallas had the highest passing yard prop. No, it is not anymore. I do not know who is now. I think it is Seattle Seahawks, honestly. I love the Seahawks today. We'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks, guys. Greatly appreciate it, and good luck.